Hello children, welcome back. This is Maushimi Chakravarti and today I will discuss with you on the topic Forms of Business Organization part 4. If you have not gone through my previous video, go to my channel and kindly watch it carefully. Joint Hindu Undivided Family Firm. A Hindu Undivided Family Firm is a form of business organization in which the family possesses some inherited property. The Karta is the head of the family who manages the affairs of the business. The male members can only enter into this business and it is governed by Hindu law. We can say that it is a form of business organization in which the family possesses some inherited property and the Karta manages the affairs of the business. Important features of Hindu undivided family include membership by birth. That is, the moment a minor person takes birth in the family, from the very beginning, a male child enters into as a member of the family firm. Management. The entire management is looked upon by all the members of the family, but the liabilities are specifically borne by the Karta. Liability. As such, all the members have to bear the liability, but the maximum liabilities are borne by the Karta, who is the head of the family. No maximum limit. As per the other forms of business organization, Hindu undivided family firm does not have the limitations of the number of partners or number of members entering into the business of the family. Minor member. A minor male member from the very beginning, the moment he takes birth, can enter or enroll himself in the business firm and he can continue as a member of the firm in future. Unaffected by death. The death of a particular member, that is specifically the Karta, doesn't affect the winding up of the firm. The firm doesn't close down because the next eldest member turns down to be the next Karta, and as a result it continues. The business never ends up. Cooperative society. A cooperative organization is basically a voluntary association of individuals who associate together to promote their common interest. It is basically governed by the Cooperative Society Act of 1912. Their objectives are socio-economic in character. Some of the important features of cooperative society include voluntary association, means a cooperative organization is purely a voluntary association of individuals belonging to a homogeneous group. People join in this for the betterment of the common economic interest with their collective efforts. Separate legal entity. A cooperative society is required to be registered with the registrar of the cooperative society under the Cooperative Society Act of 1912, where it gets a separate legal entity. Democratic management. A cooperative society is a democratic form of organization because each member has equal voting right. One member, one vote is ensure democratic management and control of the cooperative society. Moreover, the member generally belong to the area where the society is situated. Service motive. A cooperative society is established primarily with a view to render services to its member in a particular and onto a society in general. It does not form for profit motive. Utilization of surplus. Whatever profit is earned by the society is used for the further development of the corporation. Cash trading. The trading is looked into in a proper way and proper updation of the accounts are undertaken. Fixed rate of return. Whoever member invest on the cooperative society, they get a fixed return in future. Government control. Since it is under the provisions of the Government Act of 1912, therefore the government can have full control on this society. Capital. The capital is basically contributed by the members who are in the organization according to their capabilities. Some of the advantages and disadvantages of cooperative society include easy formation. A cooperative society can be started with a minimum of 10 members and get associated for its purpose. They can be registered under the Indian Cooperative Society Act of 1912. It is having an open membership, that is, every person who wants to enroll themselves can enter into the cooperative organization. Democratic control. It is always having a democratic control because every people have equal right over it. Limited liability. As the membership depend upon the liabilities of the person, it depend upon the abilities and the capital contribution, so it has a limited liabilities. Elimination of middlemen, there is no intermediary who can stop the working of the cooperative organization, and profit is not taken by the partners or the members working in. Profit is thus kept for the betterment of the society. State assistance and stable life, it has a proper assistance. Every member can give their viewpoints for the development of the society, and its life is stable because death of a particular member doesn't affect its life. Disadvantages are limited capital, as the members invest according to their abilities, therefore it has a limited capital contribution. Problem in the management, since it does not follow any technicality in the management, therefore there always comes a problem in the management affair. Lack of motivation, people in the beginning gets motivated to go for self-interest things because this is meant for social services. When the element of profit is missing, the element of motivation sometimes also gets missing. Lack of cooperation, in the beginning the people obviously get cooperated, and as a result the working goes on properly, but as the days roll on the cooperation comes down to be less. Dependence on government, since it is controlled by the government, it has to work according to the rules and regulations of the government, which sometimes acts as a hindrance in the path of development of the cooperative society. Types of cooperative society, there are basically 5 types of cooperative society, which may include producer cooperative society. That is, a producer cooperative society are those which are formed by small producers of a particular locality to fight against the big capitalists and to help the members who need capital, material, equipment to use their skills for the production. Consumer cooperative society, they are those societies which are organized by consumers to avoid exploitations by the middlemen and to ensure steady supply of consumer goods and services of higher quality at a fair price. Cooperative group, that is housing societies. When we talk about housing societies, they are formed by those people, they are formed basically by those people who strive to their own a flat or a plot of the construction of their own houses. Such societies are formed mostly in urban areas where the problem of housing is acute. Theft or credit society, they are those societies which are formed to provide technical help in the form of direct loan to their members. They are organized both in rural as well as in urban areas. And finally, marketing cooperative society, they are those which give greater importance to the small producer and agriculturist who faces many difficulties in selling their output at remunerative profit. These societies seek to ensure a steady and favorable market for the output of their members. The next part of the chapter will be continued in my next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.